Hi everybody, on this screencast of Total OS today I wanted to take a crack and explain why I believe that Windows is the superior operating system over Linux. Now if you recall in my previous video I took a shot at shooting down all 20 reasons of why Windows was no good as opposed to Linux. As you know, I failed somewhat. It was more of a 50-50 proposition in that attempt. And I suppose to be fair, in this video I will try to explain why Windows kicks Linux Hiney. It sounds like a country song, doesn't it? Oh, she left me for Windows 'cause Linux has no Hiney. That was my attempt at humor, and I stress the word attempt. Okay, I have 13 reasons why Windows kicks Linux Hiney. In no particular order, let's start with the first reason. Universal acceptance. People feel comfortable using it, that is, using Windows. You know, I can't think of any electronic stores, local stores, at least here in the States, where you walk in the store shopping for computers and Linux is widely available like Windows is. Microsoft has been around a long time. People have accepted it as the creator of the premier operating system, Windows. I believe Windows controls 90+% of the market, and for good reason. People are comfortable using it, and putting aside the disaster that was Windows Vista, Windows 7 works terrific out of the box. My number 2 reason is that for older systems I believe that Windows XP is pure dynamite. You can run Windows XP in a computer with 256 megabytes of RAM or even possibly 128, although I don't recommend it. I even use Windows ME on a computer built back in 1999 with just 64 megabytes of RAM. Now granted, it doesn't do much, but I use it as a portable jukebox. I did try a Linux version of a lightweight operating system. I believe it was called DSL or Damn Small Linux. I have to admit, that had to be one of the fastest OSs I ever installed, but I needed a rocket scientist to figure it out. So for older systems, I'm sticking with Windows XP. Okay, number 3 reason is that Windows basically has less bugs than Linux. I think I had mentioned this, we had talked about this before with bugs. It seems like with every new version of, say, Ubuntu, new bugs reappear or appear that were not there in the previous version of Linux. I don't see that with Windows. To me, again, Windows works great out of the box, and it works great overall with Windows having less bugs than Linux overall. Okay, my number 4 reason. Now this I've had problems with. I'm not really sure why, but I'm just gonna say it. Linux is a pitiful excuse for HD videos. I can't play them. Can't do it. Tried it with multiple computers, multiple systems, multiple graphics cards. Granted, they are all single core. I don't have any dual core machines right now because frankly right now I really don't do that much gaming on any kind of computer, whether it be Linux or Windows, and I've had no luck playing HD videos in Linux. With Windows it just shines. Well, my number 5 my number 5 reason why Linux why Windows kicks Linux, Hiney, is no new OS every 6 months, which to me equals no stability. Let me ask you this. How many six months does it take to clean out the bugs in any operating system? Think about that. My number 6 reason, to me, Windows is overall more stable than Linux. I just flat out have overall total less issues than Linux. Now, putting aside the issue of, security and viruses and spyware, I understand that Linux is king, but putting that aside, to me, Windows is more stable. Well, my number 7 reason is that screencasting, such what I'm doing here, is flat out faster, easier, and less buggy than using it in Linux. I haven't had that many issues. In fact, I've had no issues using a piece of freebie software to do the screencast in Windows. It transcodes it to Flash rather quickly, and it is flat out more stable than trying to do it in Linux. Okay, my number 8 reason. Well, multimedia players. Windows Media Player 11. To me, and I've debated about this, but this is probably my number 1 choice for a multimedia player, assuming that you have all the codecs pre-installed, downloaded, and installed. By the way, I'm not too crazy about the media player. I believe it's 12 in Windows 7. It works, but I like Windows Media Player 11. In Linux, multimedia players still have a long way to go, in my opinion. So for multimedia players, Windows is king. Number 9 is gaming. Granted, I do not do a lot of gaming in either operating system, but from what I understand, Windows has the edge in gaming. The number 10 reason why Windows kicks Linux, Hiney. Windows software works fine in Windows versus, say, using Wine or Play on Linux to try and play some Windows software in Linux. And an example of this would be iTunes, or hooking up my MP3 player, my Microsoft Zune. Right now, I can't do it in Linux, and I don't think currently there is any possible way to hook it up in Linux. So Windows software, again, barring any spyware or viruses, works just fine in Windows. Number 11. With Windows, you're running only one OS, whether it be Windows 7, Windows XP, and not 600 of them or so with Linux. That is just too damn confusing. Look, I like using Linux. It's a lot of fun. I like having choices, but too much of anything, including choice of OSs, is not necessarily a good thing. My number 12 reason why Windows kicks Linux, Hiney, and you may find this somewhat unusual, it's good to pay for it, assuming that it's not a dud like Vista was. It's good to pay for it. Okay, think about this for a second. Linux users out there who say that Linux is the best operating system out there over anything, including Windows, and it's free. Well, I have a little issue with that. There's an expression that goes, you get what you pay for. So are you telling me that paying for nothing is better than paying for something in terms of quality and getting back what you paid for? I mean, does that really make any sense? It doesn't to me. Number 13, and this is my last reason why Windows kicks Linux Hiney. No terminal. You don't have to use the terminal or the DOS or command prompt in Windows to get something done. But I will say this, I do like one terminal. Take a guess. Do you know what it is? You're right. My favorite terminal is the Orlando International Airport in Florida. There you have it, my 13 reasons why Windows kicks Linux Hiney. Thank you for watching this edition of Total OS Today. Go Windows. Okay, I'm just kidding. I like Linux too. Bye.